Atlanta where the players play, and we ride on them things like
It's time for the crushing interview.
We got a sensational concert series now. We got to talk about it. Hey, man, we're going to this crushing interview brought to you out. People at ORC Software. The ORC team is committed to providing full lifecycle support for developing, testing, and delivering market-driven products. Yes. ORC's motto is when a customer engages one of us, they engage all of us. Go to ORC.com. That's ORASI.com for more information. Make sure please introduce our guest, sir.
Listen, entrepreneur, journalist, media personality. And she almost ran over me at the Falcon game.
You're not going to let that go.
No, I'm not going to let that go because it was going to be all bad if I had failed. But it's all good.
But you got to tell them why. I was,
You were blogging. You were videoing.
No,
you were
doing my job.
You were doing your job. Hannah Joy to the microphone. Hi, Hannah. What's good?
Hey.
What's good?
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
All this positivity up in here.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Yes.
Keep that negativity out your circle.
So how you say your last name again?
Gebresilassie.
Gebresilassie.
I almost had it.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Why don't we do an exercise? Let's all say
No.
Talk to us about it. I mean, I looked at your background. You went to tech originally for business administration. That's what you got your degree in.
Yep.
What made you go into journalism to get your master's? What made you get a master's in journalism?
So, at the time, I was working for the Falcons, working for Georgia Tech women's basketball. I'm sure that's where I ran into you all a lot, too.
For sure.
Covering the games. And I started growing really interested in the stories, right? Everyone has a story. And being exposed to all these student athletes or professional athletes, I wanted to know who these people were off the field, off the court, and what better way than to tell their stories. And so I wanted to go back to school, take on journalism, and then I ended up, when I went to grad school, I went from wanting to pursue sports broadcasting to everything in general after a documentary trip in South Africa. That really kind of made me think, you know what, I love sports stories as well, but I really want to sort of open the doors to every single topic, sort of. Mm-hmm.
So let me get into this because you were at the Falcon game on Sunday. Talk about your intern and what are you and the excitement of covering the NFL.
Oh, covering, working for the Falcons, great organization, and the funny thing is I started volunteering, right? A lot of people are like, oh, how do I get in, And I started volunteering like maybe 6-7 years ago, and then that led to an internship, and then, part-time game day position, and it's been about 6 seasons that I've, worked games or been around in some capacity.
Right.
So I would do like game day operations, working with like some awesome people, and then, like I said, I started growing more passionate about videography, photography, and, when I moved back to Atlanta from Illinois, they welcomed me back with open arms to come back and take photos and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing for sure.
And one of the things we know you from also, you was working with the Dream as well.
Yes.
But a lot of it, you said you put in the work early with a lot of volunteering, doing all that. How was it important for you, like the Georgia Tech basketball, to do that route? Was that just your mindset, I have to do these type of things to get into the business, or what was it about it?
To be honest, everything came from failure. Everything. And I'll tell y'all just a little background story. So I used to dance, I don't know if y'all know that, but I was a dancer, cheerleader style. We danced at halftime games, basketball games, football games. So I danced at Georgia State and Georgia Tech, always involved. And so, I danced my first year at Tech, and then every year you have to try out again. And so then, tryouts came out, auditions came up, and I literally froze during the audition. Completely forgot the entire dance, like a deer caught in headlights, and I didn't end up making the team again for the following year. And so after that, at that time, I was working at a restaurant. It was called Dough Restaurant. They now have a restaurant called Bites in Atlanta, and, great people there as well. And so, the owners were like, oh, well, what do you want to do? Like, I know you're not dancing anymore. Like, what are you interested in? And I was like, I really want to go into sports. And then the owners are there like, oh, we have a good friend who works for the Falcons. And one thing led to the next. They connected me. And if I wasn't serving tables at that restaurant, who knows if I ever would have landed that opportunity to, volunteer and then intern and then work for the Falcons. And then the other side of it, one of my homegirls at Tech, she was like, oh, same thing. Hannah, you're not dancing anymore, so what do you want to do? And I'm like, I really want to get into sports, trying to find that right opportunity. And she's like, oh, well, our student manager position is open up. I should connect you with one of the coaches. Again, I didn't make the dance team. I was trying to figure out what was next. She connected me with one of the coaches, and just like that, I ended up going to Europe with them, covering a foreign tour. I ended up getting housing, scholarship, traveling the world in the country with them. And so my biggest thing is, like, when failure comes into your life, you just never know what doors it's going to open up.
Right. Mm-hmm. What's crazy is you said something a couple of times, and I don't know if people caught on to it. Interning, volunteering. A lot of people, you get the glamour shot at this. No, you have to really start in the basement. Just talk about that.
Absolutely, yeah, you literally do. I mean, I took on jobs where I was interning, for free, and I'm saying, know your worth. There are a lot of paid internships, but sometimes it's okay to take unpaid internships to get that experience. So I'm over here, like, sometimes we'd have to report, at 6 a.m., like, people think game day, yes, it's fun and it's an experience, but people that work game days, they're the first people to get there and they're the last ones to leave. You're on your feet all day working. There's so much that goes into it. Even with the basketball team, like, yes, I got to travel with them, but I was doing everything from, like, washing, towels to making sure water bottles were filled up. You have to humble yourself. I mean, if you want to learn and grow, it's okay taking on positions. And even, like, working, I was working 3 jobs at the time, and, again, one of them was a restaurant. But someone's always watching, too. It's not even just internships, but part-time jobs. You don't know what those can lead to as well. But, yeah, I mean, internships really open the door. And to anyone watching this, if you're trying to get in somewhere, don't necessarily always ask for the full-time opportunity right out the way. That's not how it works.
They're not going to give it to you no way, but yeah.
Well, they might.
When we come back with Hannah, we're going to talk about the importance of, doing this business and going back to your heritage, because I think a lot of people want to know. We've had a person or two on here from the heritage as well, and we just want to talk about that. And we got to jump into Hannah Joy TV and why it was created. Stay with us.
Honey, what you cook for dinner tonight?
Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
The bad news first.
I cooked nothing.
Well, that's the good news then.
Uh-huh. Well, there's no bad news then, because tonight we're gonna have Jerk Palace.
Call Jerk Palace for authentic Caribbean cuisine, including vegetarian entrees with authentic Caribbean flavor. Call 770-892-5049. Located at 6221 Jonesboro Road, Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Jerk Palace.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Already coaching? Everybody's a coach these days. I get it. Life coach, relationship coach, financial coach. But you want to be a coach with integrity. Get certified and do it the right way. Or add coaching to the work that you already do. Join a cohort or take classes at your own pace. We have knowledgeable instructors. We have a life-changing curriculum. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com to learn more.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How do you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
One of the most dominant home court. You can't touch me, you're not man enough. And that's all she wrote. End zone touchdown.
Oh, man, welcome back. You listen to the Crush Sports Talk on the Sensation Station Network. It's me, your boy E. Glaze, your boy Makes Your Heard is in the building. We both got our hands.
Mama know best.
And we want no problem with Gwen Heard. Right now, we're getting Joy with Hannah Joy.
Hey.
In the building, in our interview right now. Stay with us. We got more interview with her and Quincy Carter and Ridley's. But we have to see when we get there. So let's talk about, being in this field, but also being Ethiopian Eritrean. Say it again.
Eritrean.
Eritrean. How important is it for you to be able to do that and to show that? Because we've had
Naima
in here, and she was talking about how important it was for her. How was it important for you?
Shout out to my East African sister, Naima.
East African.
Yes, Somalian. So, yeah, I'm Ethiopian and Eritrean. And, you know, my parents came to this country as refugees in the 80s and, you know, came here for a better life. And I carry that with pride, you know. Since I was little, I saw how, you know, there wasn't always a lot of money, but they stayed strong, you know, like they went through so much just to come here. And so that's always been a big part of me. But, you know, when I got to the news station, you know, it really just all kind of started happening. Like I don't know, like Ethiopian New Year, Eritrean New Year, a lot of people celebrate as well. Like on September 11th, and go for an event, and I asked my news director, oh, hey, can I like cover this story and just, he's like, oh, you can do a web story for it, you know, and I'm like, okay, cool. I shot the whole thing with my iPhone, put it together. That video has reached 1 million people.
Wow.
More than 1 million people, yeah. And then it was at that point that we started realizing that, wow, like, people want to see these kinds of stories, right? Like, holidays that go against, like, you know, your calendar. Like, there are people who don't celebrate Christmas on January 7th, or, you know, what have you. And so I started kind of doing more of that. And so every opportunity I got, I was like, oh, well, can I shed light on this holiday? And they were very flexible, the newsroom I was working at, and led to the next. And every single story that kept coming out just kept going crazy and viral. And yeah,
1 million.
Yeah. And it showed me how people are hungry for this. And when I wore a traditional it's Ethiopian / Eritrean dress, and it actually has the 4 colors in my heart. Like, people went crazy. People were setting their pictures on Facebook. People were like calling me their hero, all this stuff, and I was like, well, I'm not necessarily a hero, but like, I think because people have never seen that on TV, no one really, you know, everything is so cutthroat. So to see representation, you know, someone that looks like you, someone that is putting on for the culture, I think is really important and goes. Okay, hero.
Not really. But keep it going.
they really do. Yeah. They want him to do town hall meetings and stuff, but here's no there. Talk about the multifaceted in this business, not just sticking to one. Okay, I'm gonna report. No, I need to be able to do this and do. Just talk about that.
Yeah. Shoot, edit, produce, and get in front of the camera.
You better.
So people need to know that. You know, sometimes you think you see someone in front, and then it's like, oh no, you don't see what behind the camera, right? Like a lot of those stories that I did too, I was doing them, I was staying extra or coming in earlier to do it in addition to what was required of me for my full-time job. So sometimes people don't realize that you have to put in that extra, you have to be multifaceted, like you said, and and learn. Like, I didn't start off a good video editor. I didn't know how to shoot videos like 4 or 5 years ago, you know, but I literally learned how to edit videos while I was in Europe with the Jordan's basketball team. Shout out to the video director. Yeah, you gotta challenge yourself, you know, to have different skill sets if you are interested in coming into this field.
Right. Shout out to Chad Nichols. She say she loves you. Thank you for being with 2 of her favorite people.
Charcia.
You know, make sure we're cutting nicknames. So I see you with the nickname.
Well, man, Chad.
Too.
You went from doing news, so you from, you know, Atlanta, Chicago, DC, and all that. What was your feeling? News. You know how news is today. Yeah, it's not a lot of these days on the news. So how was it for you?
Well, so really my professional career really took Illinois, and yes, I did report in Chicago and Atlanta. Like, it kind of varies depending on where you're at, you know. And I know we got some fun noise in the background.
Yeah, joys of live
radio. You know, that's what happens, right? Live radio, you can't control that.
Keep it moving.
Exactly, you keep it moving. So, I'll never forget at the White House, like, covering the administration and seeing, you know, President Barack Obama and like you know, covering those events, for Associated Press, and just storytelling. Even in Chicago, like, I know when I was reporting, people talk about the gun violence in Chicago. People also need to remember and understand that there are a lot of initiatives working to combat that violence. And so my thing was like, yes, if I'm gonna expose this issue or talk about it, I also want to talk about how are people solving the problem? How are people trying to make things better? That was sort of my take on it. And then Southern Illinois, of course, where I spent the last.
It just sounds good.
So Lucas, it does.
Lucas.
It wrote Illinois. I mean, some really great people. Being there, I'm a general assignment reporter. So I'm the lead reporter covering whatever the story of the day is. So it can be politics, it can be all sorts of things. And I'm covering shootings, I'm covering fires, that kind of stuff. Like, I know a lot of times, you know, it's like, oh, it's negative news, but at the same time, people need to understand what's going on. I got to a point where I knew I wanted to take sort of a different.
Talk about that different route. Yeah. Hannah Joy TV, you know, it's a different thing.
She make it do what it do.
She make it do what it do. We're gonna talk about these arts and what the colors mean and all that good stuff. So y'all.
Already coaching? Everybody's a coach these days. I get it. Life coach, relationship coach, financial coach. But you want to be a coach with integrity. So get certified and do it the right way. Or add coaching to the work that you already do. Join a coach or take classes at your own pace. We have a life-changing curriculum.
Learn is thing, but not every child. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Uncle Dan? Mom? Dad? If you store your guns properly, so not just anyone can get to them. I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
Safer when my friends come over. As your neighbor, I'll feel safer.
As a school teacher, I'll feel safer.
We'll all feel safer.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I do the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food stroll box, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sensation Station Network. SSNATL.com.
Credit, Jack. Yeah, black on.
Whoa!
Hey.
You are not ready.
Whoa! It's us, man. The Crush, man. We're back, man. Hannah Joy's in the building. So, Hannah, you were telling us about doing the news. You were down there with the Salukis, hanging out with the Salukis. Up there, not down there. Up there in the Southern Illinois, hanging with the Salukis. Did it hit you? I want to do something different. I want to do my thing. How they say, Jay Brown, shut up, let me do my thing. When did you decide to do that?
when did I decide to do that? Okay. So I made the decision over the summer, honestly. It just, so many things were happening. You know, the stories that I was doing was kind of getting a lot of attention and going all over. And so I knew that, like, while I really appreciated the local community and sort of the reach there, I knew that I could expand, right? And do sort of more stories to touch a broader audience. So as much as I appreciated the community there, I knew that I wanted to expand. And so by starting my own, you know, platform, I was able to have more control over some of the stories that I want to do and how I do it. So I really, it's funny because I knew for sure, like I was speaking at a conference, and after I got done with the conference, I was like, okay, all right. I think I know, and I put in my 1 month's notice, you know, but I was getting to the point where I was doing a lot of speaking engagements. I received a couple of community awards, which were really awesome. Yeah, shout out to Denver, Colorado, and Los Angeles, the Pagamet Community Center there. They, you know, awarded me these awards for my reporting and my community involvement, and it was just, it taught me that, you know what, okay, you have this reach, why not take it to the next level and see what can happen.
Now, this was funny. I'm going to pull you to talk about that just a little bit more, because a lot of times people don't understand. Well, first, people don't understand having to jump out there and doing exactly what you want to do, because we could always stay in that box. But talk about, it's time for me to grow.
Yes. First of all, going to a rural community was a big growth factor for me. I'm from Atlanta. I'm used to, you know, Atlanta. So this is what I'm used to. But I knew going into it, because I went out there for an interview. When I moved to Southern Illinois, it's a rural conservative community. You know, I would go into homes sometimes and flags, you know, and just I would come home from work and 10 deer standing next to my apartment door. You know, Trump signs and just different things like that. And I'm explaining that because it's very different than the community I'm used to being in here in Atlanta. And so when I was put in those situations, you know, you got to be strong. You have to be willing to, you know, go into stories and be objective and tell the story. And so that was a huge jump for me in the first place. But, you know, I knew that I could handle it, and I think I'm proud of the way that I did, you know, report and handle things out there. And as far as taking that next leap, it was very uncomfortable. Like when you leave your job, you know, like you leave your health care, you leave your full-time salary or your job, your paycheck, like you leave the resources, you leave, and also the community, like the people there really meant a lot to me, you know, like I was glad to be that voice in that community and shed light on all these different stories and be a representation, you know. So it was hard too. I always thought about that, but I knew like it was making me uncomfortable, but I had to take that leap. And like, I took that leap, you know, put in my 1 month's notice, and I had a plan, too. It's not like I was just going, all right, walk away, everything's going to work out, guys. No, you got to have a plan, too. So when I moved back here, I knew I was going to have to take on multiple side gigs, which I have, to pay the bills and everything like that. And just to be transparent, I'm grateful that my mother welcomed me home, you know, with open arms. Like, and I know that's a privilege. Mama. Right, that's a privilege, right? Because as an entrepreneur, that's one bill I don't gotta pay. I don't gotta worry about rent or what have you. So, just really thankful for the support and everything that has been here as well.
So, Hannah Joy TV has been lunch.com.
Yeah.
You know, talk to us about it. The naming and the symbols that you got. Talk to us about Hannah Joy TV.
Of course. So my name is Hannah Joy. My real name is literally Joy. Given to me from my mom's sponsor parent Joyce, and also my great grandma, whose name is Desta, which means happiness in Amharic, which is one of the languages, one of the main languages in Ethiopia. And so, yeah, so Hannah Joy, and it's exactly that. Like, I want to bring joy to people through my stories, and I want to uplift people and inspire people across the globe by giving them joy, giving them hope, bringing them positive stories, uplifting content. And so this brand goes along with that mission to share uplifting stories and positive stories. And the green, yellow, red, blue hearts are inspired by the colors of the Ethiopian and Eritrean flags. And it was a huge, huge historic moment. This year, 2018, over the summer, Ethiopia and Eritrea, they signed a new peace agreement and entered this new era of peace, right? Here you have these two East African nations that, you know, more than 20 years, this border conflict, tens of thousands of lives were lost in this war, and now you have this new era of peace. And my family comes from both sides of the border, Ethiopia and Eritrea. And so when I see these hearts, I think, you know, the colors are inspired by the flags, but it's for everyone. It's not just for Ethiopians or Eritreans. I want people to think about peace, spreading love, spreading positivity. And I've actually had orders come in from London, from Canada, from already like 8 different states. Many people I don't even know that have already been ordering, so it's been amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and I donate 10% of all profits to the youth. So
you putting he donating.
Right. I ain't making that much yet, but I'm still giving.
Flying,
it's important to give back, because I think people don't really get the block your blessing thing. It's real. Yeah. And when you do have an opportunity and you're able to, always give back. Always.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how's Fridays? You having these interviews? You done started that.
Yeah.
I got Chris Draft was on there once.
Yeah.
High energy guy.
Yes,
People
high
with
energy.
Yes,
Shout out
Lord.
to Team Draft. They got the Super Bowl challenge coming up, where, you know, they are big on just supporting the lung cancer community, and the top lung cancer survivors who raise the most money will come to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. So let's get it. I mean, it's a really awesome initiative, and shout out to Chris and the whole Team Draft with everything that they're doing.
So the interviews, how they been for you so far?
Okay, well, it's been good. It's been good. Every person I've interviewed has been a blessing, of course. Like, their stories are amazing. From a operational standpoint, it's a lot on me. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I shoot, edit, produce these on my own. I'm working multiple side gigs to pay the bills. My brother does help out in many, many ways. He does, like, a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, like managing different pages. Like, my brother is... I'm so blessed to have my brother and my mentors and some family who really help. But as far as the video, that's kind of my baby. Yeah. So, you know, he helps me with the website. He actually created it and has just been so instrumental. But, yeah, so doing that and then juggling multiple side gigs. And I do a lot of speaking engagements because I love working with the youth and helping empower communities. So imagine all that and then trying to balance, like, a social life. And then, you know, it's just like I'm still working on, like, managing it all. But every story has been super, super rewarding. And as you know, the segment is called Journey Time. So we discuss people's journeys, and we get real. We talk about the challenges. We talk about the lows. We talk about, because you got to be transparent. You know, everybody's not, all of us have our things that we're going through, and a lot of times we don't address it. So we do that in Journey Time.
Well, make sure you know what time it is.
I believe the children are our future.
This seat is not warm enough right now, so we have to put in the hot seat.
Put in the hot seat. Let's go.
So stay with us. Hannah goes in the hot seat.
Honey, what you cook for dinner tonight?
You want the good news or the bad news first?
The bad news first.
I cooked nothing.
Well, that's the good news then.
Uh-huh. Well, there's no bad news then, because tonight we're going to have Jerk Palace.
Call Jerk Palace for authentic Caribbean cuisine, including vegetarian entrees with authentic Caribbean flavor. Call 770-892-5049. Located at 6221 Jonesboro Road, Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Jerk Palace.
Oh, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Marie Callender's knows that you may not have time to roll out dough for a perfectly flaky crust that's made from scratch. Or enough time to mix vegetables with all white meat chicken and a homemade gravy. She knows you may not have a moment to crimp the edges of your favorite chicken pot pie. But Marie Callender's does. And when she's done, all you need to do is find time to grab someone special. Sit down and savor. Marie Callender's, it's time to savor.
It's just not great. It's fantastic. Sensation Station Network. You're absolutely right.
Hey, man, it's that time when we get into the hot seat with our guest. Hannah Joy is in the building. So this is when we're going to throw some hot questions at you.
Okay.
All right. You got get him some rapid responses.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Make sure you start it off, man.
Favorite spot to kick it in the ATL?
All right. I'm going to say Pure Lounge.
Hey. Pure Lounge. All right. What's that hit that you're playing right now, though, in the car? What's been playing in your car when you rode this?
Ooh, right now I'm playing some Michael Jackson, Rock With You.
Ooh, okay.
What? Off the wall? Okay. What? Favorite rap album right now?
Ooh, favorite rapper album right now. I don't want to say just one. I can't just say one.
No, don't do that.
No,
I
can't
one
just say
go-to.
one. No, I don't have a one go-to.
You don't have a go-to?
I have like go-to rappers, but not just one album. I can't.
All right. Hardest story you had to report?
Ooh, hardest story I had to report. That's another one. It's like a lot of them are hard. It's like, honestly, anything involving tragedy is always hard. Knocking on people's doors and it's always hard. But I go into it as a person first before a reporter and always offer my compassion. So.
Favorite story you've had to report?
Favorite story I've had to report. Again, like all of them are so close to my heart. I'm sorry, I can't. Everyone is so special to me.
You're a politician, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not a politician.
I don't want to say, and then, I
can't limit it to one story or one rap album. That's hard.
I'm going way back. When you was a dancer at Tech, what was the favorite song to dance to?
Ooh, favorite song to dance to? Ooh, yeah. Honestly, my memory is kind of like vague right now.
Too young for that.
Yeah, I'm too young. You're right. I'm too young for that. Yeah, I'm really bad at this game.
You're really not. Favorite member of the Migos?
I don't want to see you trying to get me in trouble. You trying to get me in trouble. I'm not even gonna answer that. But yo, shout out to Migos and Cardi B out here. Hey, shout out to everybody.
Po Cardi.
Wow.
First of all, Cardi B had an incredible year.
Oh yeah, she did.
Rise up.
I'm still rocking money. Favorite Falcon?
Favorite Falcon. Is this like current or?
You've ever? All Falcons. Just say.
See that? No, I don't like these favorite questions. I'm making me choose one person.
Okay, give me. Okay, this year.
This year. Let's see.
No. We see the time. You gotta get one question in.
I mean, I'm just gonna shout out the whole team. It's been awesome. Really.
We gotta do a redo on this show.
It's been awesome seeing them. I mean, still staying up throughout it all.
Motorsport.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
She like Quavo, everybody.
Okay, really? Is that what I said?
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me. Whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
Honey, what you cook for dinner tonight?
Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
The bad news first.
I cooked nothing.
Well, that's the good news then.
Well, there's no bad news then because tonight we're gonna have Jerk Palace.
Call Jerk Palace for authentic Caribbean cuisine, including vegetarian entrees with authentic Caribbean flavor. Call 770-892-5049. Located at 6221 Jonesboro Road, Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Jerk Palace.
Sensation Station, Roll Lewis Enterprise, and Radio 2 Atlanta presents the Smooth Sensational Praise Concert Series. One incredible evening, Saturday, January the 26th, 2019, at Prince Hall, 7340 Old National Highway in Riverdale, Georgia, with special guests Dove and Stella Award nominee Lisa McClendon. Along with the Soul Train and 15-time Stella Award winner, Ben Tankard.
You bring out the best in me.
Now, along with Lisa McClendon and Ben Tankard, the concert series will include some of the best gospel talent in the nation. Tickets are only $15, and you can reserve your ticket by logging on to www.ssnatl.com or eventbrite.com/smooth sensational praise right now. It's your time, it's your year. Come and celebrate and praise with Lisa McClendon.
You are holy.
And Ben Tankard at the Smooth Sensational Praise Concert Series.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Sensation Station Network.
See ya.
Well, Hannah kind of sort of survived the hot seat. Make sure she's a little sweaty right now, man.
Hey, man, the hot seat.
Too hot. I can't handle that.
Too hot. So I'm already going to say Hannah for 2024 because she seems to be able to skirt around a few issues, right?
I'm just trying to be, neutral and show love to everybody.
Thank you guys for joining us, the Crush Sports Talk. You can catch us on the Instagram at The Crush Sports Talk. Where can they find you at?
Yes, please follow, stick with me. I am Hannah Joy TV on all platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure to subscribe and help me get my subscribers and my views up on YouTube.
Gotta get them up.
Gotta get them up. Gotta get them up. So, and then also I started a new page on Instagram called Promote Positivity Movement. And basically, anybody that sends me a picture wearing a shirt or a hat, I post it on that page. So,
that's dope.
And use the hashtags Promote Positivity and Hannah Joy TV. So 2019, get ready because we're doing all of that.
You can bring us a hat.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to y'all. Don't worry.
Okay, I just make
you're one of these people like me. You believe in positivity and energy. Talk about how important that is.
It's so important. Now, I'm not sitting here saying we're gonna have perfect days.
Oh no, no doubt.
But it's like we're all gonna face challenges. How are you gonna address it? How are you gonna face it? Right? You either can curl up and I've done that before and I still do. But I choose to see the brighter side. I choose to see the positive light because we need that in this world. We need it, and we need to be able to uplift each other, right? So it's easier to give off positive vibes than it is negative vibes.
Right. When this thing gets to jumping off, we know it's going to jump off. What do you want Hannah Joy TV to do? What will you want? What's your vision for Hannah Joy TV?
Yeah, so it is, a media platform, but it's sort of all-encompassing. So in 2019, I'm going to have, mixers, pop-up shops. I'm going to have different empowering workshops and sessions. So I'm going to be doing the storytelling, and I just want to reach people all across the globe with stories. That is something that we can share for free. You don't need anything to share your story. So, yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Man. Because I believe in energy. They'll tell you all the time. They think I'm crazy from time to time, but it's okay.
So y'all gonna take a picture with my Promote Positivity shirt and send it to me, right?
Without a doubt. I want to be on the page.
Hey, you said from time to time.
What's that?
You crazy most of the time.
I'm crazy all the time, but I do it in a positive.
You do it in a positive,
uplifting way.
Yeah. You do it in a positive way.
Even when I'm being petty.
Yeah. Boy,
yeah.
So you're a positive, petty person.
My petty is
the triple P.
My petty is epic. I have epic petty.
Epic petty.
And don't let him stew all day with it.
Oh, yeah.
So we at 8 o'clock, so it's kind of like...
I got the dose of it early on. When we started this. Oh, you almost ran me over.
You did. You almost ran me over.
It's all love.
But the balance you displayed, because you were actually backpedaling and talking, and you kind of did a whirl. And, yeah. I thought you were going to get on the big bike.
Why just make it? What's your favorite sport?
Favorite sport? That I play or to watch?
Just to watch. See, why you trying to run around?
Favorite sport? I love all sports.
And there it is.
Yes, when I tell you that.
Check her out at Hannah Joy TV on all platforms. Make sure you check out her YouTube page. You won't regret it. Any kind words for you? You know, your interview is over since we've been doing a lot of political things right now.
We are not doing political things, but yeah, I'm not a politician, so I could be whatever, you know. But I want to say thank you to the both of you all. Thank you to everyone here at Sensation Station Network for welcoming me, sending everybody positive vibes, and I encourage anyone, take that leap of faith. You never know what can happen.
Jump.
And just jump, you know.
Jump.
Don't be afraid.
We're about to take us a quick photo in between and get ready for Mr. Quincy Carter to call in, which I think he may be just calling. So stay with us, Sister Crush.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes